David, thanks. New tonight, we are hearing from Stephen Avery himself in his case before the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Avery filed a motion addressed to the Chief Justice this week. Victoria Fraser joins you down in the studio with details on what was in that letter. Victoria.
Bill and Cammie, Stephen Avery typed a personal document sent in this envelope from the Fox Lake Correctional Institution, where he is serving a life sentence for the 2005 murder of Teresa Halbach. In this 6-page document, Avery says he wants a new trial, writing, quote, "The criminal justice system is broken and it has to be fixed," end quote. 25-year-old Teresa Halbach went to the Avery Savage Yard in Manitowoc County to take pictures for an auto sales publication. Investigators found her bone fragments and pieces of personal items on the property. In this filing with the court, Avery made a plea for a Denny motion, alleging that evidence points to a third party committing the crime. I spoke with attorney Avery about the impact Avery's letter could have on this case.
I'd be very surprised if the Supreme Court would accept it. From what I understand, he is represented by an attorney, and they've explored many post-conviction remedies, appeals, motions, etc. So the chance of this working for Mr. Avery is very remote.
As Action 2 News previously reported, Avery's attorney and the state's attorney general have already filed motions before the state Supreme Court. No word yet on any decisions in this case. Coming up at 5, you'll hear about what wouldn't be needed for the Supreme Court to hear the case.